there. It's been a while. I've been out of town working for a couple weeks, so was just not able to video any recipes for you, but I'm back. And today I'm going to make some smoky tofu burgers. I thought you might want to watch. You can get the exact measurements for this recipe on my website. If you go to plantbasedmary.com, this one is on there. It is called the Smoky Tofu Burger. I'm going to start off with just putting into my bowl. I have already blitzed these in my food processor. And this is nutritional yeast, 2 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons of vital wheat gluten, and about a cup of walnuts. Just blitzed those all together. I also added a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder to that mixture. Along with that, I am going to put in my almond flour. Now the recipe actually calls for oats, 1 cup of oats. I'm choosing almond flour because I'm watching my carbs this week, so we'll put that in there. And this are my beans, which I forgot to smash up. Let me smash those up real. You don't want to smash these up all the way. You just want to, leave about half of them whole, half of them smashed, like so. Now these are black soybeans, which are very, very high in fiber, and that's why I like them. They taste very similar to regular black beans, only, that's really the big difference, is that fiber content. And if you're, counting carbs, I would suggest giving the black soybeans a try. They're not easy to find. You can, of course, buy them online at Amazon. I found them in my local health food store. So I kind of buy up every one they have when I go there. Now I did drain this can of beans, but I did not rinse them. I find that if I keep that little bit of, the juice that they're canned in, the aquafaba, I guess you'd call that, the burgers tend to stick together a little bit better. Okay, so there's your beans. I'm just going to throw those right in there. Next up is this deliciousness. I just sauteed a bunch of mushrooms. The recipe only calls for 2 mushrooms. I add a little bit more than that. I'm not going to use all these in this recipe. I'm saving those for something else, but I like to use a generous amount of mushrooms. It gives a nice little bite to your burger. So we'll just put, I'll say about half of this in there. And I also sauteed my onion and red pepper right in there with it, just to soften those a little bit. On top of that, you want to just drain your tofu. This is 7 ounces of tofu, and just break that up. Just like if you're making a tofu scramble or something like that. Just break it up like so. This makes quite a few burgers, and they freeze really well if you want to freeze them and enjoy those later. You can reheat them in the microwave or in a toaster oven, however you like it. And I like to eat these just over a bed of spinach. They're just so delicious like that, they don't even need a bun. Okay, rinse my hands. And you don't want to forget the liquid smoke. That's what makes them a smoky tofu burger. The recipe actually calls for ½ a tablespoon. I want this batch to be super smoky, so I'm using a full tablespoon. Just want to mix that right in there. And then you can use a couple tablespoons of barbecue sauce or ketchup, whichever you prefer. I'm just going to use some organic ketchup in there today. And then you just want to get in there with your hands and really mix this up. The Vital Wheat gluten that I put in with this recipe, if you are, gluten intolerant, of course, leave that out. You might want to put a tablespoon of flaxseed or something like that in instead, but I do find that the Vital Wheat gluten really makes them bind together very nicely. And you can see that the consistency that you're getting is kind of a big old sticky mess, but believe me, it's going to taste fantastic. And what we're going to do now is just patty these up. It's really a very easy recipe. Once you make it a few times, you're going to keep coming back for more. It's actually one of my favorites as far as veggie burgers go. And you can add as many veggies as you like to this. I think it would be real nice with, maybe some kale chopped up finely and added to that. This is just kind of traditionally how I've been making them, with just the onions and mushrooms and red pepper. But, use your imagination and put in there what you like. You can see I'm making pretty good sized burgers. Hope you can see that. If you don't like to use liquid smoke, I would suggest using about a half a tablespoon of smoked paprika. And then just be careful with your salt if you're going to use the smoked paprika, because I find that to be a little bit salty. Just got a little bit left, so I'm going to add that to some of these. Evenly. We don't want one to get jealous. They got more than the other. Okay, so I have 6 good sized ones. And that's about what they should look like. Okay, now I'm going to put these in the oven at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. And I may flip them one time in between there, so I'll be back in a few minutes. Should be done. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. These are going to be delicious. Look at that. They're crispy on the outside, but still tender enough. And they should hold together pretty well. I have made them with the almond flour in the past. They don't hold together quite as well as they do if you make them with the oats, but still pretty darn good. I'm just putting those on a bed of spinach with some sliced tomatoes and a pickle. Doesn't matter what they look like as long as they taste good, really. Here's what they look like up close and personal. You can see the red peppers in there. They're hot. So good. Give this recipe a try. See you guys.